Back again, are we? Couldn't get enough of the fat man. Can't say I blame you. The sexiness is a little much to resist. So, let's go ahead and recap. Last week I was not here, which seems like a damn shame because we're only on for 1 week and then we take a week off. But when you have your person of interview interest cancel on you and the world is full of shitty news, there's not much I could really do. I could stand in front of this here camera and I could go in front of this microphone and dance for you all that I wanted. But I don't think anybody truly wants to see that. You guys want to be entertained. Quite. And if you want entertained, well, then I'm glad that you're back. Because today's show, you'll be entertained. I hope. But welcome back. Let's get on with the show. Hello, welcome back, everybody, to another episode here on the Fat and Happy Show. Come on in, take off your pants, and pour yourself a bowl of cereal, and let's get on with the show, shall we? Where, today, I'm taking the suggestions of people after I was talking about the first episode, which the first episode did go off pretty well, apparently. A lot of people really did seem to like it, and the view count was about where I expected it to be. But the thing was that I did not have the proper attire, and I did not have a pipe. The pipe really makes the outfit. Now, the only other thing is that I need a mug. Now, I have a couple mugs, and I was thinking about bringing one onto the show, but I think I know which mug I want. And I'm not going to bring that on. How rude of me to not silence my phone. But I'm not going to bring on the mug until I get the right mug. Because every talk show host needs a mug. But I don't want to have multiple mugs. I want to dedicate one mug to the show. So when I get it, we'll be going. But I did like the idea of me having one of these. And it was a very, very good call. Actually given to me by the guy I interviewed last week, so very well done to you. And pretty much the pipe was just my idea. But if you have any more suggestions on things that I could add to this show to make it just that much more cheesier, let me know, because I want to make this thing as cheesy as possible, but I still want to make it entertaining. For anyone who is watching or listening on the podcast on Spotify, and I'm not going to iTunes, I'm just leaving it on Spotify. I'm basically just wearing a tuxedo t-shirt, and I have a pipe hanging out of my mouth right now. But overall, though, I'm very excited to come back for this episode, though, and I am sorry I wasn't here last week. There wasn't enough entertainment to really do anything. The whole idea that I could go ahead and do whatever, I could have came up with a skit or something to try and fill the time. There just wasn't any world news, and that's boring. Can't do a recap segment without world news. And you can't do a whole interview segment by yourself. So what was I left with? Pretty much just doing a skit, because that would have been it. And that's not entertaining. That's not entertainment, okay? I could have wasted you guys' time for 30 minutes. But you know what? You guys are coming to this show, and I'm going to entertain you, damn it! I'm not going to have you guys come out here and waste your time listening to me and just... I'm rambling, aren't I? But I'm not going to waste your guys' time. If I'm going to make a show, I'm going to make it right, and I'm going to do it the right way instead of wasting your precious time. So, what are we going to do now? We're going to stop wasting your time. We're going to have ourselves a dang recap! Okay. So, with the recap, let's go ahead and start off with one of the headlines that I thought was very, very interesting. I didn't see it coming. We went ahead and signed a peace document, like we're getting towards the end of the Taliban war over there in Afghanistan. It's been going on for 18 years. And we finally have a peace treaty going into effect. Oh, boy. Okay. That was signed on February 29th. And then here we go. It's March 3rd. And we went ahead and did an attack on them. I'm sorry. Do peace treaties not have any weight anymore because we just freaking attacked them? I mean, did they... Oh, boy. You sign a peace treaty, then you freaking bomb them. It's just... It's like you shake someone's hand and then you slap him in the face. It's just, you don't do that. So I'm really confused. There's more to that story that I don't know, but that was kind of weird to me. Now, next up, we got Super Tuesdays over for the Democrats. Because, it doesn't matter for Republicans because we got the Talking Orange himself. Oh my God, I never really realized that. A nickname for Donald Trump could be Annoying Orange. Just saying. Because a lot of people like pointing that out. A lot of people find him annoying. A lot of people think he's orange. There you go. There's the Annoying Orange, real life version. But we had the Democrats Super Tuesday going off, and we have the two front runners. Now we have Joe Biden himself, and then we have the Bernie Sanders. Both are living, talking dinosaurs, and there's nothing else you can say to change my mind about that. But beyond that, I just see two things. I see one guy with a lot of ideas that I would love to know how they're going to be financed, because last I heard, you're going to be taxing the middle class a lot, and that's not what we want. And then you got the other guy who's basically Obama Part 2. So we're going to see how that goes. Personally, I see both of these candidates as not really having too much of a chance against Trump. I think Bernie Sanders has a slightly better chance. Joe Biden, he's not going to stand a chance against Trump. So if you want President Trump out, well, I'm sorry, it's not looking good so far. And that is just me calling it right now. I think Trump's going to probably get the election again. The Democrats are not working hard enough to try and get this through. But in other news, we have the coronavirus coming back again. I forgot to pull the stats from when we last did a recording, but there's a lot more out there right now. The coronavirus is nearing 100,000 infected, and currently it's sitting at 95,483 total cases with a total of 3,286 deaths, which is about a 3.5% mortality rate, which is seriously not that bad. I don't think that's that bad. Call me stupid if you want, but that to me is not that bad. So you have 53,688 recovered. I've been hearing rumor that people get re-sick from it. I don't know if that's true or not, but that is what it says. That I have currently right here on worldometer.info/coronavirus/. So, what am I looking at though? I'm looking at a lot of... It looks like the line is still going up, but honestly, I'm not worried about this at all. It seems like something that is being blown completely out of proportion. It's just a very, very bad flu that is typically attacking older people and taking them out, which, I mean, is kind of foreseeable. Any disease that an old person gets, their immune system's just not going to be as good as it once was. So any illness that an older person would get is going to have a little bit more of a rate of taking them out, unfortunately. That's just how life is. And that's how diseases work. But you have all these people panicking because they're just like, oh God, it's coming for me. And it's nothing to worry about, people. If it's going to come, it's going to come. Because guess what? We all have to work. That's just a simple fact here, ladies and gentlemen, is because I have to work, you have to work, everybody has to work and make money and to make this country and world go round. That is what happens, okay? So what are we going to do? We're pretty much just going to go about our day-to-day life, and if we get infected, we're going to get infected. That is how this is going to work. And if you get infected, then you're going to be quarantined for like 2 weeks. I think that's what they're saying. So just make sure that you have some food and water on standby if it starts coming to your area. It's not in Indiana yet, as far as I've heard, so we're fine, I guess. I don't know. But all I know is that a lot of people have been buying face masks, and they're just like, this is going to save me. No, it's not. It's not going to save you at all. Well, hand sanitizer will save me. No, it won't, because guess what? Hand sanitizer is antibacterial. It's not antivirus, okay? People, learn, okay? Learn this, people. I'm serious. Because guess what? You live in a world where you don't know shit. That is the truth. Everybody thinks that they know everything, and guess what? We know nothing. We keep on going off of false information that we think that we know, and then we blow things completely out of proportion, and we think that we have solutions to things that we don't have solutions to. So, anyways, there's my rant on the coronavirus for the week. Tune in next week where we continue this rant. Now, we did have it's kind of weird news, but at the same time, it's kind of sad at the same time. We had we had a flat earther named Mike Hughes pass away after crashing his homemade rocket in Barstow, California. And I was going to make a pun over like the idea that the earth being flat kind of crashed and burned, but I would never do a joke like that, okay? Because it's too soon. You can't do that joke. But, just saying, it is unfortunate that he passed away. His rocket pretty much flew off his parachute fell off the rocket immediately after he took off. He didn't even get anywhere near close to see the curvature of the earth that obviously exists. But, you want to know something? God bless the man for pursuing what he was passionate about. And unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for the recap, because my camera is about to run out of memory. So, we will be right back. Welcome back. Where we're going to go ahead and go into the interview segment next, where I actually was contacted, because I wasn't actually expecting to interview him for quite a while yet, but one of my Army buddies, who just so happens to be in the Navy and is currently stationed out in California, he decided that he would go ahead and hop on for some interviewing. And personally, I think it went really, really well. There's actually quite a bit going on in his little life and a lot of perspective that I don't think that you guys really would ever think about with being in the Army, serving this great country of ours. So let's go ahead and take it away past me and Daniel. And welcome back. So for today's interview, I have someone who is unfortunately on the other side of the country, but fortunately technology is a thing, and that means that we can talk to each other over the internet. And he is proudly serving in I think he said the Space Force. It is none other than one of my best friends, Daniel Ream. Which, hang on
Hi.
a second. There we go. Now you're good.
Move cow.
Move cow?
Yes.
Me or a moo-moo?
Moo.
Oh, you gotta love moo-moos.
Moo cow.
But yeah, you are a part of the Navy, correct?
Yes.
Division Seabees?
Yep. We build and we fight.
Okay, and so go ahead and describe, because I guarantee you anything, most people listening probably know the main divisions that we have. We have the Navy, we have the Air Force, we have the Marines, we have Space Force now. So what is it, is there multiple subdivisions in the Navy? Or what, how does that work?
So, yes, I mean, they have the Air Division, Land, Air, Sea, kind of like most of the other military branches are also subdivided. Ours is based more towards just doing land. I can't think of the word. Land exercises, or if we have to go in country, we actually go in country and don't just sit on a boat, 500 miles away from the shoreline.
Do you want to talk about the last one that you had to do that was in country?
My last deployment was in a very small island country called Timor-Leste. And the easiest way I can describe it is, imagine those late night commercials where they tell you that $1 a day could save, this child's life. That was pretty much the entire country.
So it was extreme poverty.
Yes,
Okay.
100% extreme poverty.
Okay. And the one thing is the entire time that you were gone, I didn't know it was pronounced Timor. I thought it was Timor the whole freaking time. So that's me being proper English for you. Now,
Of course.
I believe I still remember the story very well. But could you tell the story, because this is a good example of how poverty it was, of the dog that you had on the site?
Oh, so okay. So what ended up happening is our higher chain of command, they came out. It, they were coming out to teach us how to lay block because a lot of the crew that I had was very green, which means a lot of them, this was their first deployment or even their first like actual project. So most of them hadn't touched how to lay a block ever.
Oh, okay.
And other than the week of training that they get in A school, which is our our schooling that we get for our jobs.
And there's only a week of
Um,
training.
there's 10 weeks total,
Okay.
but that particular section that was only a week. So we're sitting there, we're going over this training, and this dog comes running by, whimpering and basically yelping. And right on his tail is, I want to say there were at least 6 people carrying rocks, sticks, pieces of rebar, and they were chucking these rocks at this dog. And the dog took off around the corner, and all we heard was a yelp, a thud, one more yelp, another thud, and then it was dead quiet. And about 2 minutes later, we saw the group walking out, and they had the dog dragging it through the dirt, and they had killed it so that they could have something to eat that night.
Okay, I didn't remember them dragging it back out.
Yeah.
I thought that it was like an assumed kill. I didn't know it was a kill confirmed. Holy God.
Oh yeah, it was kill confirmed.
Dang. But yeah, I mean that's a statement if you have to start hunting down puppy dogs to eat that night.
Well, yeah. For us, I mean, it's you think cats, dogs, they're pets. There, anything is potential food.
Do you think that it's ever gotten to the point of where people in those countries would ever go to cannibalism at all? Or do they have
I don't think they would go to. I don't think they'd go to cannibalism.
okay.
I mean, they always have. You know, they need to. At the. I mean, they can. They're surrounded by oceans. That means they're surrounded by fish.
True.
I mean, I'm sure they always will have like food. It's just a means of getting it. It's a lot easier. Go down the road, and you got a piece of rebar. It's a lot easier to smack a dog than it is trying to fish and hopefully catch something.
True. And then Timor was just a little bit north of Australia, correct?
Yeah, it's connected. It's actually connected to Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
because after Timor gained their Indonesia, like baited almost.
so, what was it exactly that you were that your squad was deployed over to Timor to actually do? Because I know you were building, but what was it exactly you're building?
So the project that I was actually in charge of was building a two room classroom, which was about 25 by 50 feet,
Okay.
um, a little under, and we also built a forced bathroom. Now, what that was what our mission was, but big Navy and stuff like that, they always have their different plans of what they're actually meant, what we're actually there for. Uh, the actual reasoning that we were there is more like getting positioning so that if it ever came down to it and we had to you know fight China or North Korea or one of those other places, we, have a place that we can set up a base of operations.
Okay.
So our 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 stuff there is just a mild, small little bit comparatively to the bigger picture.
Gotcha. So right now, what you guys were over there doing was more humanitarian, but it could have been converted over to an operations mission had the need been there.
Yeah, potentially. Um, yeah. The CBs, like one of our mottos is, we're there for the hearts and minds. We're there to basically make it suck a little less.
Gotcha. I'll say, and to be quite honest, I've seen what you guys have to go through, and you guys take a lot of this like brute. A lot of the challenges is put on you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we. I'm not gonna lie. I think we do a lot. We do a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't really think about, and um, I mean, I feel like we do a lot of good work. Some other people, not so much. I mean, they've kind of like other people that are actually in the CVs don't feel like they contribute enough or good enough. But I mean, there's a lot of things we do. Like this last deployment, I mean, I want to say we had like 26 detachments from our main body site, which was in Okinawa. And I mean, each one of those was building schools, little clinics, um, bathrooms, which I mean, bathrooms doesn't seem like a big deal, but when, you know, there's people who are just like squatting on the side of the road because
Mm-hmm.
they don't have access to a bathroom, it makes kind of a big thing.
And some people may think that like you can just go ahead and go anywhere, and there's not really going to be any issue with it. But
Hmm.
having everything contained does help to keep the overall spread of
Yeah.
disease down. For example.
Oh, a good example is, I mean, you just look back at history, look at the like bubonic plague. It was that all stemmed from just people being nasty.
Now, answer me this one. So, you going over there and building this building for these people, was
Hmm.
this a whole like who decided that you should go there and you should build this? Was this a US based thing? Was this something from Timor requesting help or how was this all decided?
So, in all honesty, that is like way above my head. But the basic way I gather it is like the Timor government contacts the U.S. government, and they devise what they can and can't do, and through that they, um, if it's something that we can help them with, they typically send the CVs in or in the Navy, and they have what are they? Construction engineers. If it's like the Army or the they there they have combat engineers. Um, those, but a lot of it's just not super crazy things. They're just small little projects that can be done quickly and cheaply. Countries like I said go to like third world, just extremely impoverished countries.
Okay. So, they pay for the materials, you guys just go over to help.
Pretty much, yeah. They pay for all the materials, and then our labor is free.
Gotcha. Okay. Which I mean that's so we kind of donate you guys a bit, but it also helps strengthen relations with these other countries.
Essentially, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's basically a win-win in this scenario.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
and then how
but
long have you been in the service then?
I'll be in the service 10 years in September, so
And
almost in just like 10 months.
and it doesn't feel like 10 years, does it?
Some days it does, and some days it doesn't.
I would say for me, it doesn't feel like you've been gone that long, but it's how much. Now, here's one thing I don't think people are going to know is you have very strict rules that you have to keep your body fit to, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, do you want to
And
go over like some of those that you have to maintain? Because I know that there's one time that I think you were like on break or something like that, and then your body mass got to a certain percentage, and then you had to work to get that back down or something like that.
yeah, so they keep you within like it's a certain percentage of body fat that you can, or if you're um, or if you can keep your waist size down, because the way we do it is not the most accurate way of checking to see if we're fat or not,
Mm-hmm.
um but it's the quickest and easiest method to do, which they just tape you, and they just take a retractable adjustable tape, and they just wrap it around your waist. And if you're within a certain amount of inches around your, I think it's 39. If you're under 39 inches around your waist, then you're good to go. It doesn't matter how much you weigh. You could weigh 600 pounds, but if you're under that weight or under that waistline, you're good to go. Once you start going over that, then they start measuring your neck, and then um, they measure your neck and your waistline, and there they weird calculation, and it tells you what your body fat would be.
Gotcha. And then, how do they give you a grace period to try and get yourself fixed if you were to go over it?
Uh, so you get, I mean, you should technically be in that period, or you should be within your standards at all times. Um, they do these like practice checks throughout the year just to make sure you're within standards. So if you ever get or you are above standards, you can get yourself within those standards before the official weigh-ins is what they're called.
Okay. So,
And they do those weigh-ins in the spring, and then
gotcha. And then, have you known anybody who's actually ever failed that and then gotten kicked out?
yes, and you actually do know who they are.
Oh, really? Would
Yes.
these one of them be on a submarine?
No, it's Mr. Raftery.
Oh, I did
Yeah,
not know this.
that's why he is no longer in the military.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't think I can't remember. I don't remember. Was he in the Friday the 13th video? Do you think?
Uh, I don't remember if he was or not. I mean, if anybody watches, those videos for Xbox, I mean, everybody knows Baba Ganoush.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I have Baba on at least one or two videos. But yeah, I didn't actually know that that's why he was out though.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you: are there any other divisions beyond Seabees in the Navy, or like, let's say like a crap ton of these, or is it kind of only a few?
I I mean, you got like CVs, obviously the Navy SEALs. They have the SWIC, which I can't honestly think off the top of my head what they do. They have EOD, which is they're the bomb techs. They go in, and if there's like an IED or something that somebody spots, they go in and contain it and blow it up without it, hurting people.
See, I never knew that that was actually part of the Navy doing that. I was thinking that would just be
Uh,
like part of like the regular Army.
so pretty much every branch has their own variation of the same.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the only ones who really don't is I think the Marines don't have like I think an EOD thing because they're actually still part of the Navy.
Okay. So if
Um,
if you had to, without like being because you're part of the Navy, so you'd probably side with them. But from an outsider's view, but still knowing everything that's in the branches, which branch would you say is the best branch to have around?
ooh, I mean, in all honesty, they're all pretty equally needed. You can't just forego like an entire branch. I mean, you can obviously get rid of the Space Force. That's not really needed right now.
Correct.
But I mean, it's weird because of the fact that um, each branch, like for example, like the Navy, most people associate Navy with boats or
Yeah.
ships.
Correct.
But it's weird because of the fact that we actually own than the Air Force does.
You own what was that? You cut out.
More aircraft.
Really?
Yes, we have more aircraft in the Navy than the Air Force does. But the Air Force is more, they're like the high tech gizmo guys. I mean, they're the ones who are running drones and doing all that stuff.
Gotcha.
They're the ones that they're constantly behind the keyboards and doing that stuff. Oh, I saw a kitty.
Was there a kitty? Oh, there's a kitty back there. Um,
Yeah.
so do you think that anybody from the Air Force has ever been like retransferred over to the Navy to like man some of your man some of your planes then?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that happens all the time. I mean, we have Air Force advisors in my battalion right now.
Oh, okay.
So because the Air Force has their own uh, combat engineer division as well.
Gotcha. Because I'll tell you from an
So
outsider's perspective who has talked to different people from different branches, it seems like you all kind of have like a mutual hatred of each other, but at the same
oh, of
time,
course,
it seems like you guys do have a mutual respect for each other.
yeah. I mean, the easiest way to explain it is like a sibling rivalry.
Okay.
Like, you know, all the siblings essentially hate each other. They always want to pick on each other, beat each other up. But God forbid if somebody outside of their family tries to pick on them, everyone can jump that person.
Gotcha. So, end of the day, you guys are still fam.
Exactly.
And I really do like that, though. And I really do like that you actually didn't side with Navy being better than anyone else, because I was kind of thinking maybe you would go that route, but it's nice to know that it is a family type thing. Because I think a lot of people probably view the Marines as being the elites, and then you have the Air Force being the pilot guys that are so cool and everything like that. Then you look at the Navy, and probably people don't really think of the Navy as the OP guys. But from what I've learned from you, Navy seems overall a very, very crucial part in keeping everyone safe.
Well, yeah, when you have, the basically the biggest guns, yeah, it kind of makes it that way.
Mm-hmm. And then
So,
you guys also have ground forces, right? Like the Army has like just regular forces, but you guys also have ground forces, right?
I mean, technically, yes, because our ground forces are actually the Marines.
Okay. And then can you be a ground force if needed?
Oh, yeah, we do so our whole motto is build and fight. So we actually, how we're supposed to be utilized is what we were made for to begin with was to um, basically go into a deployment zone like when 9/11 after 9/11 and to the Middle East. We got deployed with Marines, and we helped set up all the different camps and bases that are around the Middle East, and was there with the Marines during the first push.
Gotcha. Now, were you were not personally, But you're just talking like the Seabees and the Navy in general, right?
Yeah, in general. I mean,
because 10 years ago, that was 20. God,
I caught the tail end of it.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of it. So
gotcha.
I was in an elementary school and
yeah. I was like, wait, yeah, I was too. I think I was like first or second grade, something like that. I had no idea what the hell was going on. All I know is that like some of my friends were getting pulled out of classes, and I was just like, what okay, bye.
Later.
But yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually where I'm going to actually stop the interview. But I definitely do want to do a part 2 with you, like immediately following this. We might do it again next week, or we might come back with you maybe here in a little while. But I definitely want to continue this because I have some more questions for you. And
sweet.
I know you love answering those questions, don't you?
I do.
And definitely, if anybody has any questions, definitely at them at me at Boredom_Nation. You do not have a Twitter, correct?
No.
So I was kind of figuring. So any questions they have for him, either just get in touch with me anywhere in the comments below, on Twitter, anywhere like that, because I know that you'd be happy to answer anything.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook.
Oh, he's a Facebooker. Trust me, you do not want to friend him, though, because if I've learned anything, it's that the Navy has a very twisted, sick sense of humor that not everyone can handle.
Nope.
But thank you very much.
That's why I
Go ahead.
And say that's why I get banned from Facebook all the time.
Yeah, you do. But that's going. Thank you very much for doing this, though. Absolutely wonderful.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you back again here, hopefully in a couple episodes.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! And we will be right back. In case any of you were wondering, there's nothing in the pipe. There's nothing ever going to be in this pipe. But this is, in fact, a real pipe. And just like a real pipe, I'm really going to use it as a prop pipe. But that is pretty much going to do it for the show, though, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Where hopefully we will be back next week. But in case we have to take another vacation, we'll be back again the following week to hopefully have an interview with someone that I've been wanting to get an interview with, because what they do is something that happens across America and across the world, but it's a position you never really think about that has to do with the school systems. But if we can't secure that interview, then we're probably going to go ahead and cover the next part with Daniel. But I just have a lot of interviews that I want to do, and hopefully I can just get them lined up and ready to go. Because I even want to do a midget. I want to get an interview with a midget. Because let's admit it, what better perspective is there from a different height? That's the ultimate perspective that I want to learn about. I want to learn about those short people, little people, tiny people. I don't know, munchkins. What do you want to call yourselves? That's how we open up. What do you prefer to be called? Do you prefer to be called midgets? Do you prefer little people? Because you always hear they prefer the term little people. And you want to know something? Quite frankly, I don't buy that at all. But we're going to find out that stuff hopefully eventually in time. But that's going to do it for this episode, though, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys are a little bit fatter and happier. And I will see you boys and girls next week.